And welcome back to the weekly update video. This is for Friday, September 23rd. This is version 1.5.15-16, the laser guided update. So this is actually something I was just thinking about. I started getting back into weapons DLC. Actually had a Stormworks Warzone come out today and have my missiles up to snuff. They're working really well, and so I was thinking it'd be really cool to have some laser guided missiles, and here they come answering that. With this week's update. So let's go ahead and go in there. Dear Stormworkers, this week's update, we're adding a new component, the missile laser sensor component. The missile laser sensor works a lot like radar sensor, except it locks onto laser points rather than radar contacts. This greatly assists the creation of compact laser-guided missiles and bombs. This new sensor is similar to the laser point sensor, except it's smaller, cylindrical, and has the same composite output as the radar missile sensor, allowing simpler and more compact munitions. We have included a new preset vehicle to help players get started with the new sensor. It works in a very similar way to the radar missile sensor, so you should be able to do a simple sensor swap out on existing missiles you have made in our test. It works great in both laser-guided missiles and also bombs. Thank you for everyone who gave feedback last week's announcement. We've been overwhelmed by the level of support and enthusiasm for this update and can't wait for release. Here's a quick recap of the roadmap to release. 30th September, more info and detail on Industrial Frontiers, so that'll be next week's. Week after that, we'll have a minor update, including some very highly requested new components, so that's really exciting. I always love components. And the 13th will be the Industrial Frontiers DLC launch, so that's really great. We look forward to hearing feedback on this week's update. Be sure to join us next week for more important info on the Industrial Frontier. Much love, Stormworks developer. So I'll go through this before I go through the patch notes. So this is something I was actually thinking about this week that I really wanted. Like I was saying, I worked on some new missiles and finally got those running really well. And so it's really nice here that we can do a sensor swap. So they talk about how we should be able to just take this new laser component sensor, or this laser sensor component, and swap it out for our current radar guided missiles and just essentially plug and play with the composite input. So that makes it really simple and easy. So as long as your missiles are balanced, you should be able to put that sensor right on there and have them function really well. I'm also interested with the bombs. We'll have to do some testing with that. That'll be cool to do some laser guided bombs. So this is really awesome. This, I think, will make some cool, will be a cool new addition to the weapons DLC and some of the more Warzone type gameplay. So, I'll go into this a little really quickly. So, there's some people, saying that, oh, nobody asked for this Frontier update and, they should be focusing on this or that or this. This was one of the most popular weekly updates that I've seen, and it seems like the devs have noticed that as well, that people are really excited about this new DLC, this new update. And so, we can kind of talk about that some more, but, this seems like it's going to be a really big update, really exciting. It seems like people are very interested. If you look at the workshop, you've seen a lot of people making things like excavators and dump trucks and stuff that will work really well with the new update. I imagine the train community is very excited about all the new rail lines, so that's really awesome. Also looking forward to these new components. Let's go ahead and go through the patch notes. Just to kind of illustrate my point here, if we look down at some of the previous weeks, like this is the clothing update, 30 upvotes. Upcoming mini roadmap, about 1,000. Manual parts 43, 1,400, and those have been up for quite a few weeks. If we look at last week had 2,782 upvotes. So last week's was incredibly popular comparatively. So I think people are very excited about that, me as well. So let's go through patch notes here. So again, anything with a number is from the GeoMeta support for Stormworks. This is the only place, again, to put bug fixes, feature requests. Make sure you put them in the right category. I saw a lot of people putting feature requests in bug fixes. The more accurate you can be with that, the more likely the devs will be able to put in a feature that you want. So here's the feature, the missile laser sensor. Fix Game music does not stop when returning to main menu. Charger sometimes not function as intended due to block placement order. I don't use the charger much. Rope state's not updating on client joints. That seems like a multiplayer. Held rope animation not matching hand position. Remove non-functional microcontrol editor. Don't show an inventory option. Not sure what that is. And then fix number this. Remove arrow rendering from logic links for improved performance. So I actually want to kind of look at that really quick. See if it is what I'm thinking it is. So I'm going to see if the missile parts are in. We can look at that really quickly. And then also, so I think what this is talking about is, if you notice in the editor, when you have a node going from, say, your microcontroller to the actual component it's controlling, it would have an animated arrow. And as you can imagine, all those animated arrows can probably cause a bunch of lag. So let's see if... Alright, so right here, here's the laser missile sensor right there. So as you can see, you know, just like a radar, let me find a radar as well. So here is our radar piece as well. So as you can see, they both have, so this has frequency. So this you can dial it into to a laser frequency. On the laser pointer itself, I'll bring that up as well. Here it is right here. If you look on this one here, you can set a wavelength, and so that will most likely be what that's for. Let's go ahead and look at the parts again. So that is active, so you'd hook that up to your launcher. That will be the frequency. And then if you go to composite, as you can see, you have sensor data, so you could actually read it to a microcontroller if you want some more potentially more complex tracking systems. But then you have your simple missile output. That will go to the fins. That's the same as here. So makes it very simple. So you could pull this off and then just drag one link, connect up these two parts probably. And if you don't have the frequency set, it should probably default to 0. And if this is default to 0 and the laser pinging is 0, it should track so that you don't need to put a microcontroller in this. So that's really awesome. Looking forward to that. Let me bring up something with a ton of links here. So I'll bring in Triton, and we'll kind of look at this. So already it seems like, yeah, already this is much better. I'm getting less hitching. So what used to happen was there used to be arrows that would travel from the microcontroller out to wherever you were hooking these up, and those were causing a bunch of lag. I'm getting so much less lag in here, and I have a pretty beast PC, so that really helped. So that was kind of just a cool feature. It didn't really help you any, I don't think, and so you know, sacrifice a little bit of looks for performance. But this seems like a big performance gain. Like I'm zipping around here and I'm having no lag. So that's really, really nice to look forward to. I was getting big slowdown with that ship in the editor because of those arrows. So it's nice to see they did that. So excited for what's to come. It looks like they've really been listening to the community and putting out some good updates. Really excited for those new components coming out. So those will be, I believe, in 2 weeks. So excited to hear what you guys think. So we'll see you in the next one.